from all the stuff I've seen of yours with the running and changing your life around and getting a lot better habits, waking up early in the morning, eating better, just all these disciplines, it almost seems like so much of this is like your own personal development mixed in with just a lot of like education. Now, what you're doing is physical, but it looked like
Right.
it's like attacking the mind in a totally different way. You were scared to really get into some of these things that you were afraid of, get into some of these things that you were scared of. Did you at one
Right.
point just decide to lean into all that? Were you like, you know what? This is where the magic is. This is where the gold is. I just need to lean into that shit.
It kind of happened that way. Basically, I had a list in my head. We all have this list in our head, this magical list of all this shit that we don't want to even do because it scares it scares the crap out of us, or it makes us feel like we're not good enough. We all have the list. We all have it. So I had a humongous list of insecurities and crap, being called nigger growing up, and my dad beating the hell out of me and having learning disabilities, stuttering, all kind of shit. Growing up, we lived in a $7 a month place for a long time. I had all kind of crap going through. My soon-to-be stepdad got murdered. I had all kind of just demons that just made me just afraid of everything. And I designed this program myself. When I realized I had this voice, we all have this voice in our head, whether you believe in God or whatever the hell you believe in or don't believe in, whether you believe in yourself, there's always this voice in our head telling us different things. And the voice in my head, it kept on calling me like, you're just a pussy, man. You are a big fucking pussy, man. You're scared of all this shit over here. You're scared of this big laundry list of stuff, man, because your dad beat you and this happened and this happened. All these things that happened in my life, I wasn't facing them. Even though I didn't cause a lot of them, they're mine to own now. Now, and the one thing that I really realized was for me to become a tough guy, and that's what I wanted to be, I saw myself as a very weak man. And for me to be hard and be tough, I had to start going over to that list, that scary list, to start facing that. Because I knew over there, I was going to find a whole new person. Because if I kept on doing the things that made me feel comfortable, I was going to continue being that same person I always was, the lying, insecure, fearful person living this nice, comfortable life of mine. So I just designed a very uncomfortable world for David Goggins. And in that world, I found a whole new different, that's where I created Goggins. So there's David Goggins and there's Goggins.
Mhm.
I created Goggins in that fucking meat eater world over there of mine.
It's really, in your book, you have this exercise basically for people to do at the end of each chapter. And one of the things that I found really interesting was that you would write your goals on a mirror. And I did that my entire powerlifting career. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God. And then the learning disability, I'm in the same boat when it came to that. I spent the beginning half of my life thinking I was stupid. I bought into it. I was like, man,
Right.
maybe they're right. Maybe I am dumb. And then even as I progressed and became fairly successful in terms of what I was able to lift in powerlifting, I still kind of thought I was dumb. I still didn't think I was worth enough to like coach people. I even had an idea and a concept which now has given me a lot of financial freedom, which is a product called Slingshot. I even had that idea for a long time, but I didn't pull the trigger on it because I was scared. I didn't know. I was like, how am I going to get this made? Like, I'm dumb. I'm not a business person. And so
Right.
I kind of fished around and I talked to some different companies. They all thought it was a bad idea. And eventually I bought into that too. I was like, yeah, it is a bad idea. It probably is a bad idea. I'm dumb. Like, why would it be a good idea? And then my oldest brother, almost 10 years ago to this day, passed away. My oldest brother, Mike, he had drug and alcohol addictions. And he kind of sounds like he dealt with a lot of things that you dealt with at a point where he didn't feel like he had much self-worth. But at that
Right.
point, I realized life was short, man. Life is short, and I better start attacking some of these stupid things that I'm scared of. I don't even really know how scared I am of them because I never actually even really tried. I just am petrified or terrified of them, and I never even really put any effort in it. How do I know what it looks like for me to do business if I never even tried it? And that
Right.
was a point that I was at. But once my brother passed, it kind of flipped a switch, and I started setting goals, and I started doing things like you mentioned, writing your goals on the mirror.
Well, yeah, it helped me out a lot, man. And I started with very small goals. It wasn't like I went out there and, well, I started out real big and I realized that the big goals were just crushing me, because they weren't happening fast enough. And I had to start making big things very small. And I had to take a lot of pride and a lot of a lot of satisfaction from the fact that, I had to lose 106 pounds in like less than 3 months.
Wow.
Which was an impossible task for anybody to do. So instead of looking at 106 pounds, man, I was happy to lose a pound. I was happy to run a quarter mile because you know how it is as a power lifter, man. You're not running anywhere.
Yeah.
You're not. I mean, for me, when I was a power lifter, man, I was so crazy about calorie content and losing calories that I hated even walking to the refrigerator. I didn't want to lose any calories because I knew losing calories meant losing strength. So I was a freak about all that stuff, man. So I had to totally flip my mindset about all that stuff and just find very small goals and start achieving them, being proud of myself through those small goals that I accomplished.
With a lot of people are listening to this right now, and a lot of people probably feel they're not worth a shit. They probably feel like crap about themselves. What is something that you're able to share with people that can help flip a switch, or is there anything? Or do they just need to come to their own realization? They need to hit bottom. They need to go through some shit first in order to get there. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, what's funny, man, is that I'm not speaking for every big guy by any means, but I was once the big man. And I realized a lot of us big guys, man, we got some serious demons. I hung around big guys and we'd all break down and we started talking about our personal lives and how fucked up we all are. And, hey, why did you become big, man? We all had almost a similar story of insecurities.
Yeah.
And walking around in the airport looking like a gargantuan, man, people look at you differently and you get a little more self-esteem. So I'm going to be talking to a few of us out there when I say this, man. The biggest thing in life that you have to do is you have to be proud of yourself. You have to start developing that personal self-esteem. And it has to be something that it's an internal thing. And it has to come from a lot of hard work and dedication. And you really have to, I call it like right now, I see your headphones on your head. I walk around life with so-called headphones on my head, man. I don't, really wear them, obviously, but I just have these earmuffs on that I silence out the noise. I silence out the judgment. I silence out the self-doubt. I silence out all the naysayers. And, those people get in our head and then we start getting in our head. And the most important conversation we'll ever have is when we have it ourselves. And like you were saying to yourself, man, I'm dumb, I'm this, I'm that. I was the same fucking way. So if that's what you're constantly repeating to yourself in that internal conversation, man, that's who you're going to be. And my biggest thing for these people who are out here is, honestly, man, you have to start callousing over that victim's mentality. You have to start building this mental armor that no matter what anybody said, that you can be in a room full of 1 million people and all million can be like against you and calling you names and whatever. And you be like this, you know what? Roger that. You can go fuck yourself, man. 'Cause I know exactly where I'm going. I know exactly what I'm doing. And that's the kind of self-esteem you have to build in yourself, man, in this kind of society today, because it's tough. It's tough out here nowadays.